I do. It's fun. Good morning. I'm Jacy NAvarro.
And I'm Debi Overton.
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning.
It is our pleasure to be here with you today. Why, the mouse is away, the cat will play, right?
That's right. These mouses are playing. I'm sure the cats are playing too, though.
Oh, I have a feeling they are. It is going to be a gorgeous day today, don't you think, Deb?
Oh, it is. It is.
Well, what are we going to be talking about today?
Oh, it's just the whole concept of self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, it's a long word, isn't it?
It is. That's a really big word. Well, what is it? How does it show up? What do we do? I guess these are questions that we have to ask today, huh?
Yep, these are questions that we're going to be dealing with.
Well, how does that apply to unity?
Well, unity is really big on giving. If you hang around very much, you'll see lots of action going on, activities, things being done for people. And we've discovered that in order to give out, you have to take in.
Wow.
So for me to have the energy to give who and what I am, I have to have a source for my own energy.
Wow. So
gifting.
that means we're going to have to call on some of our powers.
That's right.
Maybe love?
Love's a good one.
How about wisdom?
To know when we need to stop and get some self-care.
And the strength to actually do it.
Follow through. That's right.
All right. I mean, because we do this through source, because we are not our source.
That's right.
God is our source. So we have to fill through that.
And it is always endless.
Always endless.
So I can go about my business with the confidence of knowing that I will always be filled up because source is endless.
Well, you know, there's an old unity teaching from Frank Giudici who says that you can only give to others to the extent that you have filled yourself.
Yes, I believe that.
Do you?
I believe that.
So if I wanted to give somebody $5, I best have $5 in my pocket to give them.
That's right.
Huh.
That's right.
Go figure. I actually need that $5 if I want to give it away. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, I think that this is a great opportunity for us to hear a little song about how this can play out.
I go with you there, girl.
All right.
Perfect in every part.
Wow. Wow, Susan, thank you.
Yes, a work of art, a masterpiece. I see a whole lot of masterpieces out here, Deb.
And every one of them, every one of you, at any time can close your eyes and say, thank you, God,
Thank you,
for
God.
creating the masterpiece that I am.
Absolutely. You know, it's written in John 3:18. I know you guys have heard me say this many a times. It is one of my favorites, but it applies here today. Let us not love in just words and speech, but in action and in truth. So I think that might play with something here today. So what if we did a formula with that? What if we took love plus action, which would equal compassion, add you to it, and that is self-compassion. I like it. I think that might work. A little bit of math for all of you mathematics out there.
Let's stop now and have our own meditation for a moment.
I think that'll be good.
Kind of open our mind for the rest of our lesson,
I like it.
as profound as it is. Close your eyes now.
You are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to
So I keep my heart open to those words. As I close my eyes and relax in my seat, I keep all the words of that song in my heart and in my mind. My mind so that I know it intellectually, my heart so that I feel it emotionally. Another deep breath. You're such a blessing to the world. We've all been called to be that blessing. So it's not a matter of are we going to be or aren't we going to be. It's simply a matter of where am I going to share my gifts. And in order for me to share those gifts, I've got to be loved up. I've got to have love in my life and encouragement, understanding and appreciation, all those things that contribute to my own self-compassion. Loving me can sometimes be a big job. But I take that big job with gratitude, for I know I am the work of God, the manifestation of Christ. And I fill my days with acting out of that power, out of that love. Take another deep breath. And I make a promise to myself that I will make a concerted effort to stop the self-talk, the negative self-talk, the talk where I put myself down, where I didn't do something quite good enough, where I made a mistake, where I wish I could do it over. That kind of self-talk has no place in our language. For each effort we make in all that we do is one that's blessed by Spirit. And we are lifted up in every endeavor to express the love of Christ. Lifted up and empowered to know what to do next, to know what to say next, to know how to give next. And part of that wisdom is knowing how to give to me so that I can become the empowered Christ that I am. Christ took many opportunities to go to the hills and pray. And I think that example is a strong one for us. As he knew the challenges he was going to face, he knew the energy he was going to need, the love that he had to have at his dispense. So he went off to pray, to get stronger, to get his mind and heart in the place to give, to spend some time loving himself and building himself up. Christ showed self-compassion in so much of what he did. He had to give great things, so he had to love himself in great ways. Another deep breath. And we hold on to these words with a happy heart, grateful to be receiving and giving at the same time. And so it is.
That was absolutely beautiful, Deb. Now I'm in a place where I want to ask the question, why? Why is it so hard to have self-compassion?
You would think it would be easier with the power of God churning that up inside of us, but we struggle with ourselves.
Every day. You know, I would think that the biggest reason we don't have self-compassion is because we're taught that to love oneself is a selfish act, that we're supposed to be giving out to the world. I mean, it's pretty normal to say, I love you, Deb. But how normal is it when I say, I love me, Deb?
Let's practice that one time.
Yes, let's.
I
Everybody.
love me, and you could say Deb, but your own name would probably be more appropriate.
You could just turn to the person sitting next to you and say, I love me.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I love me. That was not awkward at all. It actually felt really good, didn't it?
Sounded good from up here.
It really did. One more time.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
I love me.
All right, I
my
like
goodness,
it.
I love it. Well, that's great. And like you said in the meditation, Christ went away He went away to pray and fill himself up and to love himself up and to take care of himself. So why don't we? I mean, he is our way shower. Here in Unity, that is what we do. We follow the teachings and the ways of Jesus Christ. So I think this is one lesson that we're going to all spruce up on today.
There you go. There you go. And it really is the foundation for our love for others.
Well,
When I come home and I'm wrung out and I just don't have any more to give. You have days that you feel like I just don't have anything else to give.
we have those days, absolutely.
And that's one of those little signs that said, hey, you're not taking care of you very well.
Oh, you mean that's how it shows up?
That's how it shows up.
Oh, wow. That leads us in a whole new direction here.
Yes, it does.
I would say my number one way that it shows up for me is mom guilt. You experienced that before?
Mom guilt, I sure have. I'm
You
a
know,
pro.
the kids need 20 things done, but we would like to shower. Anybody else experience that? I heard a little chuckle. Yeah, I heard a chuckle or two. Absolutely. I mean, if we don't put on our own oxygen mask first, the kids are going to fall out, we're going to fall out, everybody's going to fall out. So why don't we do that on a regular, consistent basis?
We're socialized as moms to take care of all things in all ways at all times. That's all.
Oh, so like when I didn't buy my kid those organic bananas. Oh, I should have bought the organic bananas. It's okay though, right?
It's
Okay,
okay.
No, we're letting go of that mom guilt. Well, you know, it shows up in kids too, don't you think,
Oh,
Dad?
yeah. Teens, at least in my life, teenage years was a hard time to be feeling self-blame and self-guilt. All the kids were doing this or that, and I had to make choices if I was going to, and I felt guilty if I did, and I felt guilty if I didn't. And it was hard to stand up for my principles and,
Yeah, and just be you.
and love with an open heart.
And love who you were with an open heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we've all experienced that. You know, we may not all be teenagers right now, but we were at some point, right? So we've all experienced that. Well, you know, the other one that shows up for me a lot, that creepy little sucker called self-doubt. You know, that one little voice that starts talking to you, Deb. Have you heard that voice?
I've heard it loud
Okay,
and clear.
thank goodness. I thought I was the only one. Okay, you know, the one that tells you you ain't good enough. You've messed up again. Why are you even bothering? Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You know, that one. And you guys are all looking at me like you've heard that voice too. So see, we really aren't alone in that, Deb.
No, we're in good company here, I can tell.
Like-minded individuals. So why do we do it? Why do we do it? Why do we allow the conditioning from our environment, from the world, determine how we talk to ourselves? I don't get it.
Well, I think we got what God had in mind kind of screwed up.
Ah, go figure.
Go figure. And as human beings, we do that now and then. Do you notice we screw it up a little bit? I think God's intention was to create a perfection. Not a perfect perfection, because that would be another God. And although we are the Christ, we still have that side of us that is human. And so we struggle at times. We make mistakes. We have self-doubt. We don't do it right. And that's when we get into our head that it's time to blame me. It's time to beat up on me.
You know, another way that shows up, I don't know if you've heard about this, conditional givers. You know, that one family or friend that's like, I will totally do for you until you don't do for me. Oh, I see some head nods. So yeah, we're still all on the same page. It's good. Okay, yeah. So with that being said, what do we do about it? You know, Frank Giudici said that if you're not showing up and giving of your gifts, there is no place for you here. So why are you here? In Peter 4:10, it's written, each of you has received a gift to serve others. Be good servants of God. Give those gifts.
So that's a direct commandment, and he says it many times in the Old and New Testament in different kinds of ways, directly and indirectly. But the point is, you have been created and gifted. You have been created and gifted. There is no question about that. So give those gifts to others. And in order to be able to serve as that source of gift to the world, you've got to be good to yourself. You've got to feed your own soul.
So basically what you're saying, Deb, is that it is our responsibility to take care of ourselves so we can give to the world. Because
that's right.
Otherwise, we're shortchanging those that we're giving to because we're not giving it 100%.
That's right.
And at Unity, we don't like that. We like to give at 110%. So, what do we do about it? We know where the problem lies. We know how it shows up. But what do we do? Deb, what do we do? Where are our tools? How do we combat self-doubt and the lack of self-compassion?
Well, we had been studying The Tethered Soul, Myra has, these last few weeks, if you recall. And that book has got some good stuff in it on self-doubt. And part of that self-doubt comes from that inner voice that's inside our head that's yakking at us all the time. So what we've got to do is spend a little time listening. What am I saying to myself about myself? Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I would never talk that way to another person. Never would I talk that way. I would be embarrassed, ashamed. But I talk that way to myself.
I do too.
And then expect to go out and be this joyful, happy, let me help you kind of Christian person.
Well, and so not only do we do it to ourselves, sometimes we let environments and people around us do it to us too.
We keep people around us that are negative. And I hate to say that I would cut somebody out of my life, and yet I would take and have taken a step back or two because that person is negative, perhaps does things that really precipitates me to feeling bad about myself. So I set a boundary there. And our boundaries can be about other people, they can be about situations, but we know it's just not a good place for me to be, to grow my own self-esteem. So I'm going to step back.
I like that. So it reminds me of a quote that Leo Tolstoy said, if something is irrational, just don't do it. So, to me, that says, if it's irrational to talk to myself badly, just don't do it. If it's irrational for me to hang out with people who are trying to talk negative towards me, just don't do it. Boundaries are healthy. They're healthy for the creator. They're healthy for the giver. Look, giving and receiving in boundaries.
There you go.
I like it.
There you go. So we just need some time to tell the roommate to sit down.
And be quiet.
And be quiet.
That's right, because we've got this.
So watch your words. Watch your words.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Deb, have you heard of the rice study?
I have, since we've been working on this. You're in for a treat on this one.
So, Imasato Emoto is a Japanese researcher and author. And he originally started his research studying water molecules and the way that vibrational sound affects them. Have you guys heard of this? Yes. So, you know that they send the love out, and these water molecules transform into these beautiful patterns. Well, my favorite part about his study is the rice study. And I think the reason why it's my favorite is it can be recreated. And it has been multiple times with similar results. So, what Mr. Emoto did is he took 3 jars of rice. In these jars, he put equal amounts of water and rice, sealed them up, left them in similar locations, but treated them very differently. Do you know what he did to them, Deb?
What's that?
So his first jar of rice, he spoke sweet nothings to it. He whispered to it how amazing it was and how much he loved it. Oh, he couldn't get enough of this jar of rice. The second jar of rice, he was indifferent. He basically ignored it. Didn't think much of it. That third jar of rice, though, he spoke terrible things to it. He told it was stupid, ugly rice. It would never amount to anything. It would never be anything. It doesn't know why he's trying, that he hated this rice. And he did this over a period of time. And after a while, the rice that he spoke to so horribly turned black and rancid. It was no good. It was spoiled. The rice that he ignored, well, it went stagnant. It wasn't great. It wasn't black and rancid, but it certainly wasn't great. But that rice that he loved up, that he whispered sweet nothings to, was fluffy and white and plentiful as the day he put it into the water. Deb, what does that say? What does that say about the organic material in this world and the vibrations that we put to it?
Very sensitive to those words.
Very sensitive.
And if a rice plant is that sensitive to words, just think what we are.
Exactly. So I like to say, make sure you're speaking sweetly to your rice. Well, and we go back to the whole, we would never, ever speak to others the way we speak to ourselves. Could you imagine me saying, hey, Deb, you're too broke to go to ministerial school?
Broke down.
Broke down. Never would I do that to my Deb. I would say, pray on it, meditate on it, have faith in it, and you can do all things through Christ.
And the things that people say to us are very powerful, and we take those in. And in our relationships that are most important to us, we pay a lot of attention about how I talk to the person that I love, to the people that I love.
Well,
So it follows then that I should continue to spend lots of time paying attention, talking to myself, and paying attention to the words that I use and the tone of voice and what I say, because I have to be fed in order to perform at my highest level.
and Deb, like you said, you know, it's important for fellowship. It's important for like-minded individuals to get together and hang out and strengthen each other. I walk into this place every Sunday, and I feel like I'm invincible. And it's not because of the walls or the doors or the pretty windows. It's because of each and every one of you sitting here in these seats. You give me so much so I can give back, and I'm so grateful for that.
We're always saying that we're our own worst enemy. You ever said that? When you drop the pie crust on the floor at Thanksgiving morning? Yeah. Somebody else has done that too, okay. We say things like that to ourselves, and we are our own worst enemy. But how, this morning we're putting to you, can we evolve and grow into being our own best friend?
I want to be my own best friend. I'm pretty cool.
You're very cool, JC.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it.
And your author that you like, Frank Gilducci, also said, Relax and be at peace now. God will never love you more than right now.
He did. And if you guys don't mind, I found something in my personal journal that I wrote months ago, way back when we were doing a class to write daily words. And this one particular entry that I did, that I just happened to come across when Deb and I were together getting things ready for you fine folks, that, yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke, I'm kidding. I would like to share it with you now, if you don't mind. And the title of this daily word, which has no date, by the way, Norm, so we don't have to mess those up, is love. When I allow myself the same love and compassion as others in my life, I am lifted into the divine love that is creation. I am guided and cared for. I find strength and comfort in my knowing that I am the beloved of God. With this awareness of pure love, I can conquer all things I am willing to do, including mending a broken heart, for love is the greatest of all of these. With this awareness of pure love, I can conquer all things.
What brought you to that place where you could say those words?
You know, I was actually on a chaplain retreat, and being surrounded by such love and willing to be that love for me, in a moment of silence, this is what came.
It's beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, shall we put the challenge to them?
I
They
say,
look ready.
woohoo! Are you
They
ready
look
for the
ready.
fun stuff? Tess, here you go. I would like to invite you all to participate in our new social media challenge, Loving Myself Up. Hashtag. So, what I want you to do is I want you to take time out through this week and love yourself up. And I want you to snap a quick selfie of how you do that. It could be something as preparing your bubble bath. It could be a picture of you in the meditation garden. However you love yourself up, I need to see it because I may steal that idea. So, we would like to kindly invite you this week to show us how you love yourself up. Make sure you post it to the Unity Facebook page and share with all of your friends the way you love yourself up.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
I think so too.
We're going to get some really good ideas.
I think so too. It'll be a great way to show all the ways that we can love ourselves up.
We thank you for being here this morning, for sharing with us, for giving us your attention and giving back the energy that I feel when we're up here. It's it's a love spot being under this light here in front of the stage, and I've been grateful to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and your love and your attention.